Next, you tried those examples, huh? I told you that I will give you some exercises. Into classroom, I will post some sample exercises. You practice them. Some sample examples I will upload into classroom. You see and try them. Okay. Now, while working with transforms, we have to know two more things actually. One more is actually you need to know transition effects, transition attributes, transform and transition attributes. Actually, transition is nothing but transition defines the behavior of animation effects. Transition defines the behavior of animation effects. Animation effects are defined by using transform. And how they have to behave, that is defined by transition. Actually, transition have so many options, like means transform defines effects. Transform will define effects, and transition will define behavior. That is the relation actually. So transition attributes. We have so many. Like transition, we have duration. We have transition delay, and we have transition property, and we have transition timing function. These are all transition related options. Transition duration, transition delay, transition timing functions. Actually, you are giving transition 2 seconds, 3 seconds, like that you are giving. Actually, that is shorthand. It is shorthand for all effects. For all effects, the shorthand is transition. Individually, we can give transition duration, transition delay, and all these things. We can define them. Actually, see, suppose I am designing one simple container. So we have a div, and for this div, we just mentioned some normal div. Yep. So this is having border solid, some black. Okay, and background color, some red. So width is some 100 pixel and height 50 pixel. So we have a container like this. So we are having a simple box like this. This is the original size. What we are doing is on mouse over, that means div. So div hover. On mouse over, we are defining the effects. You can use transforms or you can add these effects. What we are doing is on mouse over, I'm changing the width to 1000 pixels. On mouse over 1000 pixels. So when I move the mouse onto the div, it will reach 1000 pixel. Again, come back normal. Now the point, you can use any rotate, scale, Any effect you can use. So how much time it is taking to change? Few fraction of milliseconds it is taking. To control actually the time, we have to use transition duration. We have to use transition duration. Transition duration, it tells the total time taken for finishing the transformation. So first important, we have duration. So duration is nothing but total time taken to finish transform. Total time taken to finish transform. How much time it should take to finish the transform? Actually, we said transition duration, suppose 3 seconds. That is 3 seconds. And again, to come back, I given here transition duration 5 seconds. So it will be 2 seconds, 5 seconds. That means it will go fast and come back slow. That means on mouse over, in 2 seconds, it will finish that. And in 5 seconds, it will come back. That means it will be slow. This is called a transition duration. Duration is the time taken to finish the animation. How much time it should be. There is another option. Another option is actually we have to use transition delay. Transition delay is there. Delay means actually when I move the mouse onto it, immediately the animation starts. Immediately animation starts. When you start, it will automatically start. Due to that, some technical issues will come. Means because on page lot of elements are present. And when you are moving the mouse onto the element, in between the mouse pointer touches other elements, then immediately they also fire up the animation. So what you can do is, you can make the animation start after few seconds, because some other animations are happening. So it will wait until they are finished and again this will start. That means animation will not start immediately. It will take few seconds and it will start. That means delay indicates the delay time for transform, the delay time to start transform. That means how much time it should take to start the transform. For example, I given 3 seconds here. Now, what does that means is, when I move the mouse onto it, immediately it will not start. It will wait for 3 seconds, then animation starts. Right? When I remove the mouse, immediately it comes back. But when I move the mouse out, then it should not immediately come back. It should wait some time and come back. Then you can put delay either initial or you can put delay on hover. Usually we don't put on hover much. We put on normal initial state. Because on hover immediately it will start. On remove, it will slowly come back. Right? That means you see now the delay time I'm giving here for duration. Here I'm defining. And you can see immediately it starts the animation. So refresh. Yeah. Transition delay time duration. Yeah. Now it will start the animation and delay time. When I remove that, it will be 3-4 seconds. It will wait. You can change the timing. Here what you can do, you can say transition delay. Transition delay. Here we will put only 1 second. Delay 1 second, that means it will immediately start. But when I move out, it will take some time. Then it will come back again. That is the timing you need to control, that you can do by using delay. So transition, how much time complete animation should take, that is called duration. Delay is to start the animation, how it should be. Another transition property. Transition property means, you see, when I move the mouse onto it, what are the effects applying? Suppose you see now, I'm changing only width. I'm changing only width. Not only width, we will change background color also. Background color yellow. That means we have width and color, background color, both are changing. You can observe that. So now when I move the mouse onto it, you can see the red changes to yellow. That means finally when it reaches the end, it will change to yellow. From yellow to red, slowly it will transform. The color, it will slowly transform. That means it is affecting all the properties. You can tell which property to affect. I want to affect only width. I don't want to affect the color. Then what you can do is, you can set here another option. Transition property. Transition property, you can set only width. Transition property, if I say width, that means you see now, when I move the mouse onto it, background color immediately changes and then width adjusts. Previously what happening? Color also slowly changing from red to yellow. But you said that don't apply transform to color. Apply transform only to width. Then what happens? Only width will take the timing. Color will not take the timing. So color will immediately change. So that means you can set which property you want to control. That means I don't want the color to slowly change from red to yellow. Immediately it should change to yellow. On hover, I want these effects to work only for width. You can add multiple. You can add width. You can add background color. Like this we can define. So color like this you can define. But I want only width. I don't want the background color. Then you can set it only width. You can configure. So what is transition property? Transition property is nothing but transition property. It defines the attribute to use transition. It defines the attribute to use transition. Which attribute have to use transition? That is decided by property. And the transition timing function is there. Transition timing function is nothing but it sets predefined function, predefined transition, predefined transitions. Ready-made transitions are there. Where else you have seen this word transition? In computer technologies, where else you have seen this transition? If you have an idea of PowerPoint, you might have seen. In PowerPoint, slides have transitions. If you have seen PowerPoint, you know PowerPoint, then you know transitions. PowerPoint have slide transitions. Huh? I hope you know that. Huh? So actually, the concept of in PowerPoint, if you see, there will be ready-made transitions. That means fly from bottom, fly from top, box in, box out, like that, ready-made transitions. In CSS also, In CSS also we have ready-made transitions. If we can apply them, then it looks more better. That means you see in PowerPoint. So suppose we are writing something welcome, and this is suppose CSS styles. This appears normal when we display slideshow. It appears normal. But what we can do, we can go to animations and you can set a transition here. You can see these are all transitions. We can set a transition. And when you set the transition, you know, these are all transitions. The transition will have speed, how slow transition I want. You can control the speed, timing, right? These are already general things we people generally in software terms. Transition is a very common concept actually. So the point is, these are ready-made effects. Like this, CSS also have some ready-made effects. That is timing function. That means what you can do is here, I can simply set here transition timing function. I will use some ease in, ease out. Lot of effects are present. Ease in or ease out I am giving. Now observe carefully here. So I will give a duration 5 seconds both. Okay. Now delay time. Yeah. Okay, fine. Now I move the mouse onto it. I give an ease in. You see, ease out I given, right? So can you observe what is the difference? Ease out. I'm moving the mouse onto it and you can see what is ease out. Actually, ease out means it starts the animation fast and it slows down towards the end. If you have seen the animation here, actually when I move the mouse, because we return on mouse over now, when I move the mouse onto it, when you move the mouse onto it, you can see animation starts fast, it slows down now. These are very minor things. So you can get more clarity here. See, instead of ease in, ease out, I will use steps. In steps, I will give 5 steps. And here I will give transition timing function. I will give steps as 10 steps. 5 steps to go, 10 steps to come back. This time you will understand. You see, I move the mouse, it will take 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 5 steps, it will finish. And when I move out, then it will take 10 steps to come back. It will take 10 steps to come back. That means we can set the timing. These are ready-made. You can try each and every one. Slight differences will be there. These are called timing functions. That means predefined transitions. Ready-made transitions are present. All these you can apply directly with what? Transition. Shorthand way. Instead of doing that, we are using independently, right? This is a simple example for that, how we can handle the timing functions. So previously we were applying direct only, timing 2 seconds, but actually transition have duration, transition have delay, transition have property, and transition have timing functions. When you are giving 2D or 3D, to control the speed and others, you can handle these effects. But as I told you, still these are not satisfied, because we can't have our own style of animation. Ready-made effects are there, we are applying them, rotate, skew, and all this. That is the reason in CSS, to create our own animations, you have 2 options. we have a concept called keyframes. Keyframes. By using keyframes and animation also same like transition. Animation also same like transition. Means animation duration, animation time, animation delay, timing function, all will be there. Keyframes is important actually. What is keyframes? Actually, to understand this word, you should know some basics of how animations are created. For example, you are taking a video, you have all mobiles, right? So in mobiles, if I ask you, take a 4K quality video, that means on 4K screens, it should be good. If I ask you to take a 4K quality video, what is the frame rate you have to keep in your mobile? Many people don't know. So many people don't know majority of their features of camera actually, right? You see, you people see these mobiles they say that 60 pixel camera, 40 pixel camera, right? 60 pixel or 70 pixel, how much pixel you are having in your mobile? 60 pixel. But what you don't know is that is not the 60 pixel camera actually. That means technically you are misguided actually. 60 after all DSLR cameras have 20 or 25 or 30. How come your after all mobile have 60 pixel camera? Right? Do you know DSLR SLRs? That's the reason iPhones, all these people don't misguide you. iPhone says we have only 12 pixel camera. Right? All Chinese people will say the 60 pixel, 100 pixel, 150 pixel. You know Chinese people, na? Of course, iPhone also China only. Certain points, right? But the point is they say that ours is only 12 pixel. Right? So, but others people are running behind pixels, 20, 50, 100. But actually they are not true rates actually. So technically, when you are taking a photo, when you are taking a video, everything depends on frames. What is the good quality frame rate? When you are taking a video, the good quality frame rate, actually good quality is 30 FPS. 30 frames per second is good quality. Now you want 4K video, then it will be 60 FPS. 60 FPS is 4K quality, high. Obviously, if you are taking 60 FPS means all mobiles don't support. All mobiles don't support 60 FPS. They will support maximum up to 30 sometimes, right? So if it is 60 FPS, 4K, then it occupies more space also. 1 minute video means it will be 50 MB, 40 MB, 30 MB like that. Right? Now, what happens is, what is meaning of this frame? That means actually how animate, that means 30 frames per second. 30 frames per second. That means generally animations, how they do animations or motion pictures, that means movies. Animations and movies, how they do is, for example, so the frames will be like this. Actually, the frames will be like this. Like this, how many frames we have to design? So we have to design 30 frames. Now see, generally in the first frame, suppose there is an object like this. So we have some object in this way. And this object in the first frame, it is here. In the second frame, that object is here. In the third frame, the object will be here. In the fourth frame, object will be here. In the fifth frame, object will be here. And in the sixth frame, object will be like this, outside. Like that, if we run all these frames fast, means 30 frames in 1 second, they will run. Then object looks like moving from left to right. That is the frame rate, right? That means object looks like moving left to right. If more frame rate, more good animation. Less frame rate, slow. That means like this, how many frames we have to design for per second? Good quality means per second, 30 frames per second. Good quality means we have to design 30 frames per second. So then you design 30 frames, then it will come 1 second animation. To get 1 second animation, you need to move 30 frames. You need to design 30 frames. Right? Now, in our CSS, we have to design this. We have to design this. Actually, these are technically done by using some animation softwares. But now I told you that recently I told you, Flash like softwares are no longer used. That is the reason they are not supported by browser. We have to manually do with CSS. See, I will show you here. See, means how the framework. Suppose we have a software. This is Flash. It is an animation software. In this animation software, this is the animation software. In this software, you can see these are frames actually. Those are frames. If you design 30 frames, then 1 second animation will come. For 1 second animation, 30 frames you have to design for good quality. High quality means 60 frames per second you have to design. See here, actually, frames are two types. We call them as keyframe, another one static frame. Frames are two types, keyframe and static frame. Static frame means, so in the frame, object is not moving. Object is standard. It is not moving. It is not changing. Then it is called static. For example, suppose this is an arrow. Now, suppose I just define simply like that is an arrow. And behind the arrow, suppose some mountains like this is there. That means now behind the arrow, this is present. Behind the arrow, this is present. Right? And this is at the same place everywhere. That means it is not changing. Understood? It is at the same place everywhere. It is not changing. Only the arrow is changing. Understood? That means currently you have two layers, one over another. Two layers are there here. One layer contains mountain, another layer contains arrow. And one layer is static, another one is keyframes. Static means object will be stable. Keyframes means object will be changing. So what is the meaning of a keyframe? A frame where animation happens. That means object changes its position or size or anything. Generally, we create animations layer by layer. In one layer, these mountains, in another layer, another object like that. For example, see here. So this is, you see there is a layer 1. And here I am giving, suppose mountains, that is the layer 1. In the mountains layer, so you see, we are drawing something, suppose roughly I am drawing something here. Yeah, brush. So size. Suppose I am drawing something like this. So this is in the background. We are drawing something like this in the background. Now this is in the layer, and see, 1 second animation means how many frames? Normal animation means 30. So you see, we insert here a frame. This is a static frame. That means up to 30 it is static. It is not changing. We will add one more layer here. One more layer. In that layer, suppose I am keeping some object. That means I am keeping some object. Let's say like an oval. I am just giving an oval. I am drawing this oval here. I am drawing the oval here. Okay, that is the oval. And in that oval, this is in another layer. Okay, in this oval, suppose there is some color. Okay. Now what happens is, in this layer, see the first frame, object is here. We have to insert frame 2. And you see there is an option, insert keyframe, right? Insert keyframe. When I insert keyframe, in that keyframe, I can change its position a little bit, right? And after that, again, third frame, insert keyframe, again, change the position a little bit. Again, insert keyframe, again, changing the position a little bit. Like this, insert keyframe, I am changing the position a little bit. And every keyframe, like this, we have to design 30. And inside this, again, I am using, suppose, some size increase. So insert keyframe, and again, here the size increase. Okay, size increase. And insert keyframe, I am just using only some options. Yeah, like this I defined. And you see, I designed only 10 frames. I designed only 10 frames here. So like this we configured. That means like this actually F6. Yeah. So all the keyframes I will add up to 30. It will be changing actually. So I just changed that. So, and let's keep a little bit larger. Okay, fine. Now what happens is, when I run this animation, you see that animation will be like this. That animation is like this. This is just only 1 second animation. This is only 1 second animation. We have to design every frame. We need to create every frame. That is the reason generally all graphics, animation softwares will take time. So much time. So they will take so much time. So, you know, actually means majority, you might have seen, suppose in movies, you will see graphics now, special effects. In movies, we see graphics and special effects. Do you know, generally to create graphics for movies, special effects, 1 minute special effects takes 3 months time. To create 1 minute special effects for a movie, graphics, it will take 3 months. On that, 200 people. So must work 18 hours per day. Then 1 minute graphics will come. That is the actual statistics of graphics. Special effects, graphics, they are all so much time consuming. Because you have seen, I have almost designed 5 minutes or 10 minutes and I got only 1 second. That is also not great, normal. That means graphics, this is the actual statistics. That's the reason, Titanic movie, James Cameron. James Cameron, Titanic movie, after Titanic movie, that is good in graphics and animations. After Titanic movie, so James Cameron's next movie was Avatar, and 2009, and it took Avatar took almost 8 years. 8 years for that movie. After Avatar, his next movie was Gravity. Gravity took almost 7 years. In Gravity, only two people will be there. Only two people. Entire movie, only two people will be there. And very important is, and for that movie, they almost spent 700-800 crores. 700-800 crores. Only two people in the movie. 8 years. Why so much money? And after that, almost now 11 years now, 10 years almost, Avatar 2, it's not yet ready. Mostly next month it is coming. Right? That means 10 years, 12 years, why it will take so much time? You might have seen our Indian Bahubali movies. You may think like lot of graphics are there in Bahubali movie, but do you know Bahubali maximum have 24,000 frames of animation only. Entire movie is having only 24,000 frames of animation. Means maximum 3-4 minutes animation only is there in Bahubali movie. Not entire movie graphics. Right? And do you know at Hollywood level, to create 1 minute special effects for a movie, they will charge approximately 50 to 100 crores. At Hollywood level. Our Indian companies are taking 10-15 crores per minute. Per minute to create that graphics. 1 minute. 1 minute means too much. Right? So entire Bahubali movie is not having more than 2-3 minutes of animations. Whatever animations you see, they go in fraction of seconds. Only seconds, fraction of seconds. All are not animations. Fraction of seconds. That means making a complete graphics movie, it will be too much. That means, you know, Martian movie, na? Right? Martian movie. You know, our Prime Minister have announced that. So when we made a Mars mission, na? Successful Mars mission, our Prime Minister announced, what he announced? Our entire Mars mission cost is equal to Martian movie. That means that Martian movie took almost 600-700 crores, and our entire Mars mission took 600-700 crores, 300-400 crores only, less than that. That means in Martian movie, only one person will be there. Right? That means why this much of time consuming? Because graphics are such complicated. Every frame they have to design. Do you know problem? After designing, once final output comes, in that output some mistakes are there. They can't correct those mistakes. They can't correct those mistakes. Then at Hollywood level, production companies, they will say that correct them. But at low budget level, they say that leave it. Just only few seconds will be there, leave it. Then you see some people on YouTube, they will upload videos, movie mistakes. Have you seen? Those are the biggest fools in the world. People who upload those videos. That means they are making a foolishness of themselves. Why? Because a director have worked 8 years on that movie. A team of highly technically skilled people of 200-300 people worked on that movie. They haven't noticed that mistake. He noticed it. That is silly thing. Why? Because they know that there is a mistake. And they compromise. They say that, okay, now again, we can't invest 3-4 months time in correcting it. They will say, leave it then. Right? That is the reason small mistakes will be there. and people will catch those mistakes and say movie mistakes and all these on this. That is all silly thing. Why? Because even the people who developed it, they know it, but they no chance of corrections. That is the reason they have to leave it. So designing keyframes animation is very much complicated. It will take years of time to create. That is the reason, Tom and Jerry, right? Tom and Jerry producers are MGM, Metro Golden Mayer, right? That is MGM, Warner Brothers, highly paid these high production companies in Hollywood, and these people produce Tom and Jerry. And do you know? Have you seen Tom and Jerry? Till now, in the history of Tom and Jerry, only 2 times Tom and Jerry came as a movie in theaters. Tom and Jerry is very popular. Why they didn't release a movie every year? As a movie, it came only 2 times. Last time it was in 2014 or 15. So Tom and Jerry came as a movie. And you see Tom and Jerry in all TV channels. You will see that Tom and Jerry maximum episode time is 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. For every 10 minutes, episode ends. For every 10 minutes, one director, one producer, and a crew. Only 10 minutes maximum. That is the reason you might have seen Tom and Jerry wherever you see. Again and again, you see repeated. Why? Because do you know that 10 minutes Tom and Jerry to create, it will take 1 year time. The 10 minutes of that movie takes 1 year time to create that movie, graphics, effects. So you can't expect every year immediately a new movie of Tom and Jerry. Just 10 minutes episodes will come. That is so much hard work, right? Technically, in software industry, do you know, highly paid people are these animation people in entire software industry, because animations, graphics are highly paid, but very tough to settle down as a career. Everybody can't. So for example, you came here to learn some technology. If I ask why you are learning this technology, do you have a passion in this technology? No. I have to do something. Instead of sitting idle at home, my parents kicked me, say that go out, do some course and do some job. Why you are wasting in home? They kicked you out. So you have to spend 1-2 hours in an institute. That is the reason you are here. And they said that get some job, how many days you will roam like this, right? That's the reason you are here. You don't have a passion in this course. You are forced into this 100%. Nobody have a passion of web development and joined web development. Am I right? You joined this web development only some job I need to survive. Some job I need to survive, some time I need to pass here. Right? Some are serious about jobs, some are just time pass. At home, our parents don't make us sit idle. Then at least come here and, right? For few people is that, for few people seriously looking for job. You never have a passion of web development, you joined this. Am I right? Nobody. That means you haven't joined this course because you have a passion in web designing. You joined this course just to get some job in software company. But people who choose animation as a career, because of their passion, they choose it. That means in software industry, people who choose animation as career, they choose because of the passion they have. But and remember, learning those animation courses, so much investment, lakhs of rupees you need to invest to learn those animation courses. After learning also, you will not get immediate high profile job. You have to work for small advertisements, function, video editings, and all these things. If you get a good job in big animation company, because now animation companies are growing very much in our country. So if you got a good job in that animation company, then do you know per year it will be minimum 70 lakhs, 80 lakhs package for animators. That means they work for one movie, they can sit idle for 5 years. One movie they work, they can sit idle for 5 years. That means they will earn 15, 20 crores per movie. Per movie. And that is not easy. That means you say 5, 10 years. That means you have to work 5 years, 8 years, hard work. Then you will get a good job. Immediate, you will not get job. Right? So that means people who have a lot of patience, lot of passion in that particular industry, only those people choose animation as a career. For others, it's not. Why? Because you people joined web development, immediately you will ask, sir, when it will finish? For such people, no passion, time waste. Those are not passionate people in software technology. For such people, animation softwares are not suitable. They will never fit and they can't survive. That means if you have a mindset of when this course will finish, you are not suitable as a software developer. You can never handle high profile things in software. Right? The point here is these all animation softwares, entire concept is keyframes. Entire concept is keyframes. That means every frame you see here, I designed every frame and I got only 1 second animation, right? I got only 1 second animation. That is also little bit. If I have to create a 1 hour animation of storytelling like this, that means now imagine Tom and Jerry characters, they have to draw. They have to draw the characters. There are no ready-made characters. They have to draw the characters, 3D characters. They have to draw the characters. They have to move the character. That means to make the Tom or Jerry character move their eye blink, hand up and down, it will take 2-3 days time. To make them blink eye, it will take 2-3 days time. They have to draw everything, design everything, every frame they have to create. Now these days animation softwares are little better. Then now we are in artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence means all movies are using that. But what is the advantage of that is a human is wired up with sensors. For a human, that means for an actor, they will put all the sensors. And on the screen, there will be a 3D character. And how this person is moving, that 3D character moves in that way. So that is now advanced. But for that, they have to pay a lot of money in that type kind of animations. And all the movies are currently using that. That is the reason you see characters talking, 3D characters speaking. You can see lip sync also exactly. The dialogues of 3D characters lip sync also exactly. That is because of artificial intelligence. Right? So much is there. That means in software industry, animator peoples are genius. So these other people are nothing. Java, .NET and all, animation is artificial intelligence and high professional. So much complicated also. In that also, lot of programming will be there. Lot of programming will be there. Here also programming will be there. We will have JavaScript as programming here. Now what we have to do is, every frame we need to design. Every frame we need to design. So what is the meaning of keyframe? We have in animation 2 frames, static frame, keyframe. Static frame means object without animation. Keyframe means animation. Now in this keyframe, you see now here, we are writing like this. Let's see. How do we write keyframes? I will show here. What we will do is we are writing keyframe. So at the net keyframes, and the keyframe name means what is the name you want to give. This is one layer. Here I am giving layer. I given a layer for mountains na. So that means for this I will give a layer as suppose zoom in, suppose something. You can give any name. You can give any name. For example, I am giving this is as text layer. Okay. Any option you can give. Any name you can give. Okay. Now in this, what happens? So we need to tell starting and ending how it should be. That means we have to define from. We have to define from. So from, and we have to define to. From and to is nothing but this is the from, that means starting, and this is the to, that is ending. That means from and to. That means now what I will do is from I will give here margin left. From margin left 120%. From margin left 120% to margin left 0%. What does this means? That means it is starting from margin left. That means what we are doing here. Margin left 120% means suppose this is the screen. Am I right? On this screen, suppose there is an object. This is an object. That is an object. I said margin left 120 pixels. 120%. 100% means here na. 120% means outside, right? It is outside. Okay. That means starting from 120%, coming to 0%. Understood? Starting, that means it is coming from outside, right side outside to the left side. Coming from right side outside to the left side. That is what the option is. Okay. To which element you want to give this effect? To which element you want to give this effect? I want to give this effect to heading. Suppose there is a heading. I written heading as what? Welcome. To this heading I want to apply, or heading or image or anything. Suppose I am giving an image, img src. We have // what is it? Public / images / suppose some jacket. So width and height. Okay. Now you can see, yeah, there is an image here. To this image I want to apply the effect. Apply the effect. So see what I am doing now. Here I am simply writing image. For image I want to apply this effect. So I will keep this instead of text layer as what? Image layer. I will apply that image layer. This animation must be, this keyframe must be applied to image. It must be applied to image. Then what we have to do is we have to use animation name. What is animation name? Animation name is what? Image layer. Image layer. And another one, how much time? Animation duration 5 seconds. Animation duration 5 seconds. Now you can see it will come like this. That means it is coming from right side and it is displaying here. Now what I am doing here is, see, from margin left, from to, we are defining two options. From margin left 120, here I will put as a transition, transform scale. Transform scale I will give as suppose 4. 4 means large. And when it comes here, what we will do? Transform to transform scale. Transform scale, how much? 1. We will keep like this. Now it will be like this, zoom, right? That means it is moving and it is zooming from 4 to there. Because there is no top, we have to adjust. What we can do? For body, what we will do? Justify display as what? flex, and justify content as center, align items as center, height I will give as 500 pixel, overflow I will give as hidden. That means it will not go outside. Now it will come in this way. It will come in this way, center. And you can see it is coming in this way. The zoom percent it is displayed. Now you are having two options. Translate is happening, scale is happening. We can add more effect. For example, you see here, instead of using transform, you can adjust the width and height. Suppose I define width. Width is suppose 400 pixels and height also 400 pixels. When it comes to what should happen? Width is 100 pixel and height also how much? 100 pixel. Then it will come in this way. It will display in this way. Now what we are doing, we are giving one more option. We are using transform, rotate. Rotate I will give 360 degree. Am I right? And when it comes to, I will give transform, rotate. Rotate is equal to 0 degree. Then it will come in this way. That means it is using zoom and it is using rotate. That means both options will work here. Both options are working here. You see, I just given only one animation name, animation duration. You can use animation. Animation have another option, iteration count. Iteration count means how many times? Infinite. Infinite means it will be continuously coming now. That means it will be continuously coming like this. It is continuously coming like this, infinite. We can give animation direction. You can see animation direction. Animation direction, I will give as alternate. You saw mark you alternate, na? Same mark here, alternate. That means it comes here. Again from here, it will go back normal. It will be normal backing like this. It will go like this. In order to take it outside, you have to give more than 120, 140, 150. Then it will go outside the screen and it will display. It will not hide. This is how we need to configure. That is the keyframe. And it's not done. Actually, you see, suppose I am giving justify content center, I am not using. Then it will come back here now. Right? So it will come back from there. Now what should happen is when it comes in the middle, that means at 50%, when it comes, it should rotate in another direction. Then you see, you are giving only from and to. Every frame you can design. Every frame you can design. Like you can say that when it is at 20%, understood? When it is 20% means in the complete 100, it is 20%, 30%, 40, or you can write like at 2% means second frame. 5% means fifth frame, 10%, 10th frame, 20% means 20 frame, like that. So here I am defining, suppose when it is 50%, that means it comes half the way. Then what should happen is suddenly it should increase. Suppose I am giving here transform scale, it should grow to 6 suddenly now. When it is in the 50%, you see now, you see here, in the middle, it increases very large. Then again, it comes back normal. And you know that you cannot give both effects, na? Right? That means you can increase the size. That means here, what you can do is, so width, how much? Suppose 600 pixel and height, how much? 600 pixel. That means you can see it will come back and it will go here. At 50%, its size will be large and again it will be normal. That means it is changing the effect and it is displaying. These are keyframes. That means you can, at 50%, you can have another effect. At 40%, another effect. You see, that is at 100%. That means suppose here, when it comes 50, I am giving another option at 90%. At 90%, what should happen? Suppose it should use another option, like I will use width as suppose again some 300 pixel. That means you can see when it goes to 90%, their width increases there. Right? At 90%, when it goes to 90%, you can see from 90%, its width is adjusted here now, like this. That means you can change at every frame how you want. This is what the meaning of keyframes, keyframe. And actually through CSS, lot of animations are done. Now people sit days, months of time to create such effects. If you see CSS animation effects, very complicated. Even games are designed in CSS. Games are designed in CSS. That means you can click, it will rotate. You can click, it will pause, stop. So many games like we can design. Then they have to sit months of time to design those all transitions. Right? So here also in CSS also animation not easy. Right? It will take time to create all these things, because if you want more clean, every frame you have to design correctly. I just given gap 50-90%. Every frame they have to design to create such effects. This is not only for this, for any content. That means it's not that you have to apply for only image. Right? Like this, you can design several keyframes, and every keyframe you can give for different content. For example, suppose if I want to apply this, I can apply this to an ordinary paragraph or heading also. Suppose there is a heading. So heading, suppose men's clothing, something like this. We have heading, men's clothing. That is men's clothing, heading is there. Right? Now what I want effect for that also. That means what you can do, that heading also, heading H1 also can use animation name. Animation name. What is the animation name? Image layer. It can use that animation image layer. And it also have duration and all options same. Right? What is it? Animation, duration, animation, alternate. All these I am giving for this one. That means it will affect for the text also there. That means it is not only for image, for text also we are giving those effects and display. You can give for a letter or a sentence or a word anywhere. And for text you can give different effect. For image you can give different effect. So here I am giving the same effect for both of them. You can change. That's what actually keyframes can do. Keyframes can do. So technically, what is keyframe? Actually, animation comprises of two types of frames. One is a static frame. Another one is keyframe. Static frame is nothing but static frame contains an object without animation. And keyframe defines an object with animation. Keyframe defines an object with animation. And very important is animation uses so 30 frames per second FPS, or to how much? 60 frames per second. That means keyframes are designed so by using frame rate and count. Frame rate and count are important. So that means how we define the keyframes. That means syntactically you write like this. How do we define at the net? Keyframes, and you have to give the reference name. reference name. In that reference name, we have to add from what effects you want and to what effects you want. You have to define from and to. If you want, you can define from and to means starting and ending. If you use starting and ending, this is called as, actually this type is called as tweening animation. This is called tweening animation. Tweening animation means you will mention only first and last. In between, it will track everything. For example, here also see, in this software, actually previously I designed every frame, but see now, I am writing here some welcome to HTML, something. And you see here, this is the text I am having. Okay. That is welcome to HTML. Yeah. That is the text I am having. Previously, what I done every frame. But this time what I can do is I can select 60. I can select suppose 30. At 30, I can insert a keyframe. And between 1 to 30, we can set a tween. We can set a tween. We call as tween. When we set a tween, in between everything it will draw. It will draw. And by 30, at 30, how it should be, you have to just tell. Right? So then automatically it will create that effect between 1 to 30, it will create that effect. That means you are mentioning the first and the last. That is what I am doing with from and to. No, in between it should change something. Then what you do? So suppose at 15 means it is at 50%. At 50%, we insert a keyframe again, and there I am rotating like this. There I am rotating like this. Then you can see it will be in this way now. It will be in this way. That means at any frame, you can change the effect. Okay, at 90%, that means suppose 25. At 25, I am inserting a keyframe. And here I am rotating in another way, like this. And you can see it will display in this way. It will display in this way. This type of animation is called tween. That means you need not to mention every frame. If I have to mention every frame, what I have to do? I have to write 1%, 2%, 3%, 4% like that. Not percent. How many pixels? 1200 pixels now width. You have to write 1 pixel how, 2 pixel how. That's very difficult. That is the reason you can design like this also. That means what you can do? Syntactically, you can define at the net. What is it? Keyframes and any name. And here, when you are defining, here you can create a simple from. Okay, you can define here at 20% how it should be. At 50% how it should be. You can write all these options. At 90% how it should be. And 2 means the final stage how it should. That means in every stage how it should be. Size, color, changes, everything you can define. It will change accordingly. It will define accordingly. That is what keyframe. And you have to apply the keyframes by using animation attributes. What are animation attributes? We have animation name. We have animation duration. So we have animation delay. We have animation timing function. You have animation timing function. We have animation property, same like transition. We have animation iteration count, right? We have animation. One more, we have used direction, alternate and all you can give. That means how much time it should take, how many times it should display, so which direction it should go. All these we can control by using that. That means what we have to do, to which element you want to apply. For that element, you have to just define animation name. So we have to set as a keyframe name, whatever the keyframe name is. You can define multiple keyframes and configure them. You see, this is one keyframe we designed. Suppose there is another at the net here keyframes, and this is text layer. For text layer, from what we are doing, font size I given as suppose 100 pixel, and margin left as suppose some 100% we will give, 120%, this also we will give. And what should happen to font size? To font size is 20 pixel, and margin left is suppose 50% I will give. And this must be applied to heading. It is not image layer, it will be text layer. That means for image, animation will be different, for text, animation will be different. It will be different. So that depends on how you configure, because both are present in the same. I am giving display flex na. These two must be inside a div. Otherwise, display flex will make that here. Now you can see the text will come here. That will display accordingly. Text have a different effect, and image have a different effect. I can keep it down or above or anywhere you can define. These kind of animations are important to create. This is one simple example. I will give some more examples. You can try them, right? I will post some more examples into Classroom. You can try those animations, right? Effects. Once. Right. So these are the options. You once try all these. I will upload some more examples. Then with that, we need to learn one more concept. Then we can finish our CSS part. Another one is how to create responsive pages. Responsive pages means according to the device, how to set that. Then we can go into Bootstrap part, right? That we'll see next session, right? So Monday we will discuss that, right?